Hello. I have got some crazy stories for you today out of Disneyland Paris. Disturbing stories, not just due to the nature of the incidents, but also because the park sort of buried everything related to the victims with the help of the local Paris authorities. So yeah, it's not going to be a happy one today, but when is it ever on this channel? Anyways, bear with us for a minute as we warm you up before we get into the madness. I gotta warn you that this video might make you a little bit angry, so please vent with a few curse words at the end, and just wait, and you'll see why. Before we get into the park and incident details, we thought that it would be nice if we explained a few things about amusement park incidents, since that is all we cover on the channel. Okay, so first of all, an incident at a theme park is pretty much any event that results in personal injury to a patron, staff member, or anyone in the park for any reason. We are not sure if animals are covered because people aren't allowed to take their puppies and cats on rides and theme parks. But I'm pretty sure that if I took my French poodle Pistachio with me for a thrill ride on a roller coaster and he got sick or something, it would constitute an incident. I think I would leave Pistachio at home, so it's probably safer for him anyways. But let's head over to France and check out Disneyland Paris before we detail the angering incidents here. In 1983, Tokyo Disneyland opened and proved to be quite successful. This led the mother company Disneyland USA to begin opening other branches. Naturally, it made sense to open a park in Europe. Originally, they planned to open a branch in Spain, but that didn't go so well because of something that had to do with the lack of weather records from the previous 40 years. So they tried Germany, but they didn't like the rules and conditions, so Disneyland headed to France, where everything goes. In 1992, Disneyland Paris opened. They did change the park's name a few times since then, which was sort of silly since the massive park was a big hit and became Europe's most visited theme park. Anyways, it's probably just a trick to get around some laws, evade taxes, or skip some court dates. We don't know. In 2002, the whole park was sort of totally replaced via expansion and a bunch of other stuff that made it even more cool, even more fun. Today, the park features a resort, hotel, shopping areas, and a wide array of amazing rides. They probably have a section for wine tasting next to a bakery and a cheese shop since it's in France. Or maybe they don't, I don't know, but if they don't, I think they should. Anyways, Disneyland at East Paris got its fair share of incidents, with the French being quite bad at reporting them since many are not listed anywhere. However, we did find a few cases that got our attention because in one case, a young girl died under mysterious circumstances, and in the second case, a child became paralyzed, and no one knew what happened to him since then. It's quite weird, actually, because it seems that the French are not all that much into investigating things and announcing the results, which might explain why Disneyland chose to open there in the first place. The first incident took place on June 26 of 2007 when a 14-year-old girl who was visiting from Spain lost consciousness while riding the famous rock and roller coaster. According to witnesses and the girl's family, the girl lost consciousness during the ride, which hit speeds of up to 57 miles per hour. As soon as the staff got the girl off the ride, they found no pulse and they started CPR. The ambulance services arrived fairly quickly at the scene and they tried to revive the girl, but they weren't successful, and she was declared dead on the spot. The police launched an investigation. According to their report, there was nothing wrong with the ride, and the girl was in good health before the incident. We tried to get our hands on the coroner report, but we couldn't find any. Even when people die from natural causes, a particular case is identified, like heart failure. The problem with the incident is the fact that the girl just passed out from the sheer speed and g-force of the ride. Well, then her neck probably snapped during one of the three inversions, serpent roll, or the corkscrew sections of the roller coaster, and thus she died. But once again, we don't have any of the reports to confirm the cause of death here. The roller coaster was up and running the very next day, and news about the story sort of just stopped. So we're assuming that Disneyland reached a quick settlement with the girl's family and rubbed the whole thing onto the magic flying carpet. Disney was going through a tough roller coaster at this time of the incident, since the death marked the 18th in this short period. So the company was desperate to keep everything quiet when dealing with deaths and serious injuries at its parks. So maybe Disneyland should consider that a roller coaster that reaches the speed of 57 miles in 2.8 seconds and features 3 inversions, a serpent sea roll, and a corkscrew is just too much, because that can become a euthanasia ride. By the way, the euthanasia roller coaster is a sick design by some crazy engineer called Julio Jonas Orbonas, who built a scale model of what constitutes a killer roller coaster that nobody could survive. The ride has to feature a 500-meter drop, followed by 7 inversions, and over a period of 3.2 minutes at 170 miles per hour. And mind you, that half of that is sufficient to kill most people with medical conditions. The good news here is that the rock and roller coaster eventually closed on September 2nd of 2019 and was replaced with Avengers Assemble Flight Force as part of the new Avengers Campus Paris-themed land where You only have to worry about Iron Man dropping on your head by accident and getting smashed by the Hulk. No, it's actually quite safe. Well, I mean, I don't know, I've never been there, but my wife once told me that it was safe to take a dip in a random lake in Florida to cool off on hot days. Today, I still got crocodile bite marks, and she got the house too. So, that's just a little bit of personal lore for you. Anyways, my friends still come for me by saying, well, at least you're alive. So, yeah, more lore. Alright, let's move on to the next tragedy. On November 23rd of 2011, 12-year-old Bautista Riera from Argentina was visiting Disneyland Paris with his parents and 2 brothers. He insisted on going on the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror ride, which is probably the scariest ride in the whole park, at least if you ask me. See, at first, his parents hesitated. After all, who can say no to a sign saying prepare yourself for a mind-blowing adrenaline rush? The ascent is followed by a dizzying drop faster than the speed of gravity. The abyss awaits you. Drop in if you dare. In their defense, it's a cool ride. I mean, who doesn't want to drop 200 feet into the abyss? Safely, of course. In a nutshell, this dark ride is inspired by Rod Serling's anthology television series, The Twilight Zone. Anyways, the kid just had to go on it, and that was the last time that he walked. In fact, just like the previous story, there is no news regarding what happened to this poor kid later. None. As soon as the kid got off the ride, he complained to his father that he wasn't feeling well and he began to doze off. Luckily, the kid's father's a doctor and he knew right away that something was wrong, so we took him to the park's hospital. However, the boy's condition quickly deteriorated and he was transferred to Paris's Necker Hospital for Children. Unfortunately, by the time that he arrived at the hospital, he was paralyzed from the neck down and suffering from respiratory failure and thus was put on life support in the intensive care unit. The last comments by Disneyland, the doctor who treated the kid, and investigators simply stated that X-rays show he'd suffered spone and bind contusion, that his condition was critical and highly uncertain. Sadly, that last part means almost gone with the winds. Something fishy took place later in French media because one article hinted at the park not being held responsible because the kid wasn't paralyzed while he was in the park's hospital. Technically. Yeah, I threw a few curse words when I heard that, so feel free to do the same. Pause the video, just get it out, just curse the name of Disneyland, honestly. What was even more annoying and disturbing is that no news followed. As far as we can tell, the kid could have died, and nobody would know. I hope he didn't, so if you know him, drop us a line in the comment section down below. I mean, God, I hope he's okay, but they just swept it under the rug. They swept him and his paralyzed body under the rug. These stories are very much upsetting. We understand. And we all know that accidents do happen. People even get struck by lightning while they're on their way to work or just a bagel shop. But seriously, theme parks such as Disneyland Paris seem to be exceedingly efficient at burying the details or incidents in their parks. Their excuse and that of the government is that such coverage is bad for the economy. Oh well, when the heck do people stop driving because of car accidents, right? So, it's a fun fact about Disneyland that I should probably include at the end of a video like this. If someone dies, like has a heart attack on any of their roller coasters in any of their locations, the staff, I'm fairly certain, is trained to take them out of the park before they pronounce them dead. Not just the staff, but the medical people. They have them do it so that they can't say someone died at Disneyland, technically, even though the heart attack was induced by their rides. So never accept the world for as it seems to be, as I assure you, there are things going on underneath the surface, as we're all aware of, but anyways, oh, that sucks. Let us know what you think in the comment section down below. Please do like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell icon, and yeah, we assure you at least that's safe.